Hello everyone, it's Ira and I'm here. Let me see everything is working all right. And I'm here today as I promised because I started the Clover journal and now I am going to work on some decorative pieces, decorative elements. It will have some dried flowers, and the first decorative element I will start with will be plastic compositions on plastic, different types of plastic, types of packages I'm going to use for that. I keep collecting them just for this reason. It should be pretty thick. It should be flexible but thick. Thin packaging like a wrapping or plastic wrapping will not go because it should keep the form. How even it is or how neat are the edges, it's up to you depending on the style you do. I'm gonna use various sizes because I had different packaging. As for the main medium that you're gonna use, let me check. Yeah, you're gonna need here. It's difficult. I have to stand up and sit down to check whether what you can see to check the image because I can see it only on my phone. Well, as a media to fix it, I'm gonna use this modeling gel medium. In fact, you can use any. There are two basic requirements. It should be transparent when dried and it should be glossy. If it's not a gloss one, if it's matte, you will have very untidy look of your plastic stuff. I will show it when I had some experiment with matte varnish and it looks weird, although I will try to fix it. So that's probably all you will need. And yes, dried pressed plants of different sizes, different colors, different shapes, just to create a composition. I'm gonna make many. I'm not gonna show everything here, but I believe it's gonna be mass making or bulk making, just for some reason. I bought it yesterday because I found that I had completely run out of it. And when I opened it, and I received it and opened it, I saw that the texture inside is on the edge of solidifying. Like right now, I believe it's still manageable, but I already see that some part of it's getting drier than the inner part of it. So when you see, it should be a little bit more liquidish or something. But this is the first time I'm using this brand. I hope it will work. And as I saw that it's going to dry out soon, I decided to do some mass making in order not to lose this bottle and not to buy the new one. As for the tools, you might need this palette knife. If I'm not mistaken, mine is very used, as you can see, and probably any type of brush you use for your glues and something to cover the plants underneath. That's only the first stage I will show today. When the second video will be when it dries out completely and you will see the result, what it looks like, and we will continue decorating it. Well, let's take at least one. The first one, the biggest piece, let's say so. Yep. And this big one will probably be very well, will look great with big leaves, definitely. like this, and maybe we'll make a composition. You can use pincers, squeezers to fix and move your plants. I'm using my fingers in order not to move too much, because having all this gear on me with headset and mobile, which I'm afraid of moving, it's not very convenient. And yes, I'm gonna use wet wipes to clean my hands, fingers, whenever I get too covered, or too, well, when they stick. So let's get started. So for the first, the best thing is to cover the inner part of all these pieces, of all these leaves, with the layer of medium. I will use a piece of paper for that. Let's see what kind of texture we have. Well, not very thick anyway. Pretty nice. We'll see. Not very thin, not very thick. Okay, maybe. Well, and here you can see some lumps, which means that it's getting dry. In fact, for this technique and method, I have already tried and used many different media. I'm very bad at names, so I won't probably be able to recommend any. The one I'm absolutely confident about, and I would definitely recommend it, is Tim Holtz Ranger Glossy Accent. But you can guess how much of that stuff you will need if you make a bigger surface like this, for example, because on top of it you will have to cover the whole space. It's very relevant, and it's necessary actually to cover the bottom part like this, because otherwise there will be bubbles of air, and it can spoil the whole result. Come on, some seed. Okay, so you shouldn't be too careful about placing it. It will work anyway. You can use your finger. I'm using mine just because I haven't prepared a dry napkin, and as I see here, it's the edges are not very well covered with medium, so I will have to secure them later. And I'm thinking about adding one more. Oh, just then I have to move the stem a little bit. It's not a problem moving stuff like that here now, because we're gonna, first of all, cover everything even more. Maybe it's better to move it back and add it here. Yes, I believe so, because actually I'm going to sew this to the to some piece of fabric and make kind of a page or insert into the journal. Okay, let me take a wet wipe, and clean this. It's easy to do when it's still wet. One more thing, I'm not sure whether I mentioned it at the beginning or not, but at the very beginning, when I just started preparing the things, I actually cleaned all the plastic pieces with the alcohol. Yep, strong alcohol. like 70%, 70 degrees, or even more. Just to clean off some possible dirty spots or dusts or grease, something, some finger prints. Yep. So here we go. Let me see. It looks like this one is not very well covered. Yeah, make sure the tips are covered pretty well and the edges as well. Here we go. Yes. I could use this, but I won't, because it'll make the whole surface wet, which I really don't need, so I have to just press it this way. So what can you do next? First of all, that's absolutely not enough. That won't keep it. Well, you can try it out if you put a decent layer of this medium. It will keep it in place, but for my goal, for my purpose, it's not enough. I want to, you see, this is what I was talking about, these bubbles. Well, now let's put everything, glue everything again, release all the air, and now I'm gonna add a layer above. These leaves are pretty thin, so I could use, and I will probably use my brush to show you how it works. Let's take it from here. You can use a wider brush for that. And this time it's okay to go over the edges. Like, you don't have to keep only to the zone or to the surface of the leaf of the petal. You can go this way. And it's necessary. And that's why the medium should be transparent, because when it dries, initially, like by my plan, it should be invisible. And it stays invisible. In fact, it stayed invisible in my other projects, but again, I'm using this medium for the first time, so I don't know how it will dry. We'll see the result in the at the end of the process in the following video, when we continue working on this. Like that. Yes. So you see, if you want, you can use, if your surface is pretty flat, this will be enough, absolutely. I'm going to use palette knife for thicker pieces, maybe for one more, for this as well, just to show you how it works. Yep. And it's okay if you go over the edges of the petal, as I mentioned. Yep. And that's not all. Apart from adding liquid medium, you can add some embellishing part here as well, some embellishing medium, like some glue, some glitter. I will probably do it myself. Okay, if I manage my headset cord, if it doesn't keep me in place. Well, that's the first point, the first part of it. Don't forget about the stem. Let's try and use, okay, let's cover it first this way. Oh, it's already well sealed. Maybe this medium will go as my favorite one. Just let me show you how to work with palette knife if you want. I use it this way. I very much like using it in mixed media. because it helps create a very thick and very textured surface. And it's much more convenient, much easier than when you use just a brush, as you can see. Yeah, the strokes are not so gentle, and the whole surface becomes more, robust, if I can say so. But if this is the effect you want to achieve, go for it. Let me show how it will look like when I covered the main surface with this type of tool. You see, it's thicker. It creates, you don't see the strokes, and as you can see from the brush bristles, but at the same time it's kind of much thicker. And this effect I like even more, because when this dries out, it will look like just a petal or a leaf covered with some glue or something. But in this case, it will look like composition. And I even prefer not to make the surface even here. Just make it more, lumpy, or this way, as you see, right? It creates more texture, because I will explain why when we cover it with extra decorative media like alcohol inks, all these wrinkles and all these textures will pop up, just because the liquid media will go into every nook and cranny of this beautiful texture. And the more textured the composition is, the better, the richer effect you can achieve. Let's see. Actually, you don't have to. You can just smooth everything out like this, you see, or like this. In fact, this is the time when you can play around, because the surface is already beneath is already sealed, as far as I see, and you can choose what to make. You can make it this way so that you could keep this directions of the leaf itself. Okay, let's do the same with this, because I like it more rather than with a brush. Yes, but if you don't have a tool like this, use your brush. I don't know whether you can use it with with some kind of a knife, or art knife, or any other type of there are some stylus, probably it's called, for plasticine, for modeling clay. Maybe there are some tools you can also apply here. Oh, it's nice, I must say. Let's wait and see how it dries out, but now it looks and feels pretty nice, this medium. Okay, I'm not gonna make it too thick, as it's already covered with one layer. The thicker the layer, definitely the more time it will take to dry. I wouldn't recommend drying it with dryer. I mean, not hair dryer, but mixed media dryer with the electric tool or something, because it can provoke bubbling. But in some cases it might be the needed effect, so you can try for yourself. So that's it. I believe the main principle, the main idea is clear. I wouldn't like to make this video too long, and I have only maybe an hour, yes, an hour left before my second shift, working shift, and so I have to make as many as possible within this time frame. What to do with it now? I'll try to find the secure surface where nobody and nothing will sit on it or put something on it, and leave it to dry. Now I don't know for how long. Usually it takes 24 hours, sometimes less. We'll see. I'll see it with this new medium and tell you later when I'm done with the rest and when we deal with decorating. Oh, as I promised, give me a moment. I'll try to show how we can decorate it. For that, we will need, I'm just looking for my glitter, and it's such a mess around. Oh yeah, I know. Definitely it's as far as possible in the furthest corner. So give me a moment. I will try to find something closer. Oh, whatever I have closer, it doesn't look like something like that. I meant, but it's nothing like glitter here. Some kind of some stuff. No, I need glitter. I just love this effect. Oh, sorry. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, here I am, back with my things. Let me close this one, not to let it dry out too soon. Actually, I never leave it this way, but I hope to get back to it soon. In order not to seal, you can just wrap it in wet napkin. So what I'm going to use is dried seeds, the tiniest ones, for the following, for the further decorations. For this one, I will use some glitter. Easiest of all is to use glitter in bottles if you have, like with dispensers. Yeah, I have some. And I will use pink and black and let's say bronze. Yeah, I'm using this just because they have very nice holes inside, and they will, it's just easy. Oh, and I don't mind if some part takes more. It's even better not to do it evenly, like all over the surface. Now I'm giving it just some gentle touch. I think that's, I will add some pink, just over here. This time I'm afraid. Okay, I see something. Yeah, so pretty generous splash of pink and everything, and I think it will be amazing. Definitely you can use little if you want, but I wanted to give it some kind of mystery look. That's not the end of the decoration, but at the same time that's not what I'm gonna show more. Also, you can use micro beads like this that I have, and glitter of different types. Oh, I think this one will also be nice. Will also be nice. And black I have black. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you when everything is done.